And if you're at the point where you're wrestling on television, hopefully you have enough experience and enough skill set and enough hope from your help from your producer or coach to be able to still have the match without whatever it was that you wanted. You don't need blood in a match unless it's, like a payoff match or a cage match or, something like that. You don't need tables and chairs in every match. And if you have to use gimmicks in all of your matches, I question your talent and ability as a professional wrestler. Again, I'm gonna piss people off today. That's why I'm not into deathmatch wrestling. I don't feel that it takes talent. I think any fat dude can get up there that has a high tolerance for pain and doesn't mind bleeding all over the place and hit each other with light tubes and I don't. My opinion. A lot of people disagree with me. There are people that like death matches. I'm not a fan. I don't care for it. If you are a professional wrestler, you should be able to get in that ring and put on an entertaining match without bells and whistles. Your bells and whistles should be your moveset and your psychology. If a pile driver is banned, then there's fucking thousands of moves. You gotta have the pile driver. You need that. Like, there's other things you can do. And if not, then again, I question your ability, your talent. If the only way I could see, where blood is needed is if it's a cage match ending a feud, or if it's starting off something, getting heat on somebody to lead into a big deal, and then it should be special because there's no other blood on the show, and this one person gets busted open. It's like, oh man, that's a big deal. And let me make this very clear. I'm not saying that, because you got lots of professional wrestlers who also can do the deathmatch stuff and they enjoy it. I'm saying specifically about the deathmatch guys who can't really wrestle. They can just go and break stuff and bleed.
10-4.
I don't like that shit. Guys like John Moxley, he likes to do that stuff, but he can wrestle.
He can wrestle.
He can go out there and have a match without that, It's just his preference. He enjoys that. So if you are in a state with a strict athletic commission, you're told that beforehand. So if you have an idea for something you might want to do, it's up to the producer or the coach to say, no, we can't do that because we're in this state. And then as a professional, card subject to change. You change it, you adjust, and you give an entertaining match, regardless of what you can or can't do, because you can still have a wrestling match. So, and don't fuck around with the commission, because whether or not you have a show is up to those people on the commission.
Are they actively sitting in an arena?
Yeah. Yeah, they have their representatives there. Certain states, you have to go before the show and see their doctor. They take your blood pressure. They take a few vitals to make sure that you're fit and
not
healthy.
the company doctor.
The state athletic commission.
Wow.
Will have their representatives there. It's a racket, and that's why Vince McMahon came out years ago and said, "We're not sports combat. We're sports entertainment," because he was trying to get out from paying the athletic commissions. Because the athletic commission is basically like some old mob shit. They tax you to put on a show, and you got to pay the vig, They don't really do anything. They're supposed to be there for your health and safety. They don't give a fuck about your health and safety. They just want that slice of the pie, whatever percentage of the gate they get or whatever the fee is. That's all they're there for. They're doctors. If you got high blood pressure, well, they gonna know he can't wrestle tonight. Okay, I can't wrestle here in Minnesota tonight.
So the state athletic commission, the same commission, I'm assuming, that would be regulating boxing, is the exact same?
Yeah.
For professional wrestling?
Yeah. Because then later on, once WWE said, no, we're not combat, we're sports entertainment, we don't fall under that. Well, then they said, oh, well, we're going to adjust the athletic commission. Now pro wrestling falls under the athletic commission. And you still want to put on a show, you got to pay. Right. Fuck you, pay me. So, it's a racket. It's just a touch all. The athletic commissions don't really do anything. They just get a paycheck from the various promoters. Now, maybe in boxing and MMA, the athletic commissions might play more of a hand in fighter safety, but in pro wrestling they don't. Now they don't make a big enough impact on what we do on our health, and I don't think very highly of the athletic commissions and their involvement in pro wrestling. And boxing and MMA maybe is different, but and they basically you can't break a table, you can't bleed, that kind of stuff, and it's like, okay, not tonight.
Right.
If you feel that there's a point in this story that you got to get busted open, well, we can't do it in Missouri. We got to wait till we get to New York or wherever, where they're a lot more flexible with those rules.